Pod.
I'm Kat.
I'm D.
And this week, we go back to the 90s. And this movie's got it all.
The mid-90s.
The mid-90s technically takes place in 1995.
There you go. Across 110th Street. Jackie Brown from 1997.
I feel like I need some cool, like...
If you had the chance to walk off with $500,000, would you take it?
Yeah. What do a stewardess, a gun runner, a bail bondsman, an ex-con, a federal agent, and a beach bunny have in common?
You don't come in on this thing with me. You got to be prepared to go all the way.
They're all chasing $500,000 in cash.
It wouldn't even be missed.
$500,000 will always be missed.
Let him get the money and then just take it from him.
She trying to play your ass against me, huh?
That was fun.
It's a cool movie. That's my
movie.
take. It's a cool movie.
It is. It's very cool.
And I think I actually like it more the second viewing, because I've only seen this. This is my second viewing. You've seen this many, many times.
Many, many, many times. And yes, it gets better every single time you watch it.
It's just
because
so
it's
good.
An amazing movie.
It's
incredible.
Just low-key, really, like, close to perfection.
I think it's perfect. But, I mean, that's no surprise to anybody. I mean, it's just so badass, and it's done so much the right way. There's so many details. It's never boring, even though it's long as shit.
Well, okay, I think we've actually talked about this before outside of the podcast. The thing that makes Tarantino movies, all of them, so good is the pacing.
Yeah.
He gives the scenes that need the longer...
They need to breathe.
Longer time. And the ones that aren't necessary and kind of unexpected, he cuts them really short.
Yeah.
Whereas I think a lot of directors don't... Where they mess up in the pacing is they don't understand which scenes to give the right length to. So it feels wrong.
Yeah, that's fair.
I feel like all of his movies have amazing pacing. Like every scene is important. Every scene is the right length. Everything is perfect. He's just really good at it.
Yeah, that's why his movies are the best.
But it is long.
I think you got it.
If you're gonna,
and most of his movies are long. I mean, that's just how it is.
If you're gonna watch this movie and you just shell out 2.5 hours for this one, it's pretty long.
Whoa! Worth every second.
So you can watch it on Amazon probably, or wherever else it goes to streaming after this.
But why don't you own this? I mean,
we do own this. That's true. If it wasn't...
No, I meant everybody else.
Well, do people really own DVDs anymore?
I think it's really stupid if you don't own at least your favorite ones.
I mean,
having physical media is really underrated. What happens when the internet goes out?
Correct, sir.
What happens when it changes to a streaming service that you don't have or that you don't want to pay for?
Well, I guess they would say you buy it on Amazon and then you have it in your library, but
what happens if something happens to Amazon? Or,
That's true.
Like I said, or if the internet's down?
That's true.
Having physical media is, for the things that you really like, I think is important.
I would agree. And that's why I like vinyl records. Yeah. You have them. Although if the power went out, you couldn't listen
CDs.
to them either. But...
Well, I mean, you could find a way, but when there's no internet, you're fucked.
Yes, when there's no internet, you could listen to records or CDs. That's true. Okay, let me read the synopsis really quick.
Synapse.
Jackie Brown. Dramas, film noir, thriller, movies based on books. This film is witty.
What?
That's what it says. A flight attendant is pressured into helping the FBI nab an arms dealer, but she'll need to play both sides to secure funds and her future.
I like that. It's short and sweet.
Short and sweet. But no, on the genres, it says and says this movie is, and then witty.
Wow.
It is witty. It is this movie.
Way to go, Netflix.
It's quite funny, but
it is, and it's smart.
Yeah, and that's the other thing is that all of his movies, you have to have a brain to find them funny, to see the humor in them.
Or you're just going to get bored. I mean, if you're kind of a dummy, you're just like, okay.
So Quentin Tarantino wrote and directed, obviously. And then, so that's my question is, obviously, what is the best Tarantino movie? Where do you rank this in the Tarantino?
I actually think that I personally, I believe that's an unanswerable question.
Is it, though?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, because when you really get down into the exercise of being like, oh, which one's the best one? It becomes pretty much impossible. You may have a number one, but if you have a number one and a number two, I don't know. I think you might be lying. Because it's hard. It's like picking from your babies. Like,
it really is, though. And that's why I was going to say, like, how do you pick? Because I was trying to look through the list and I was like, oh, man, I love Django Unchained. Oh, man, I love Inglourious Bastards. to like, and I really like this movie. But this is definitely in my top Tarantino movies, I think.
I say that after I watch every single one of them, so, okay.
No, that's my favorite. No,
Yeah, exactly.
And it doesn't have a huge cast, but it's a stacked cast.
It's a big enough but very stacked cast, yeah. I mean, Jackie, obviously played by Pam Grier.
Jackie Brown.
Wow, you look really cool.
Yeah, hey, it looks cool on me, too.
It looks great. I mean, you wear that suit to a business meeting and you'll be the badass in the room.
Yeah, I think I like it. I'll take it. I'm in a hurry. Can you ring it up for me?
Cash or charge?
Cash.
Who was a blaxploitation superstar, but somehow managed to just keep acting a little bit here and there all the way through, including now.
Yeah, I mean, she was on The L Word, which was a Showtime show for many years.
Yes, she was on Miami Vice for many years. She
is like so good in this movie. She's amazing. I mean, everybody is so good.
Yeah,
but
she's incredible. Well, this movie wouldn't work if she wasn't absolutely flawless.
Yeah,
and she is like just beautiful, smart, badass, just perfect.
She is pretty fantastic.
Yeah.
Samuel Jackson as our villain.
Is that what I think it is?
What do you think it is?
I think it's a gun pressed up against my dick.
Well, you thought right. Now take your hands from around my throat, nigga.
What the hell's wrong with you, Jackie?
Shut the fuck up and don't you move.
Who I think is one of the best actors of all time, actually.
But
when I look at his list of movies, I mean, he has some stinkers in there.
Snakes on a Plane?
Snakes on a Plane is great. I fucking love that.
I love Snakes. I saw it in movie theaters.
So did I. Opening night. But he's so fucking good in so many movies.
But here's the thing about Samuel Jackson.
Have you seen The Time to Kill?
Yes, I've seen A Time to Kill. That's a great movie. Samuel Jackson is one of those actors that every time he's in a movie, I find myself a lot of times being like, thinking that Samuel Jackson more than the part. But this movie, I will say, this is one of the few movies of him that I was watching where I didn't feel like my brain wasn't going, that's Samuel Jackson. It was, that's Ordell.
What about when he's Mace Windu in the Star Wars movies?
No, that's the thing. See, that's what I mean. He's Samuel Jackson. Like
I disagree, but okay, fair enough. I mean, to me, his roles are so various that I just can't do that. And
it's not because he's not a great actor. It's just like sometimes it's just hard to separate certain actors from who they are as a person.
Yeah, but Ordell is a amazing character, amazing villain.
He feels like the other thing,
really, and kind of, and very nuanced because he is dumb. Like Melanie's not wrong. He is a dumb.
Because at the end of the movie, like spoiler alert, it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why would you think that you weren't going to get shot?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Somebody's going to kill you at this.
Right.
Like nobody's helping you. Not at all.
Every single character in this movie just feels like they're a real person.
Absolutely. So, to me, Max Cherry is one of my favorite characters in any movie ever.
He's so, like, just chill.
And their dialogue, him and Jackie, when they're talking, is so amazing.
Would you like some coffee?
If you're having some.
I am. Come on in. Why don't you make yourself at home? Just have a seat.
You get a chance to use it?
Oh, I felt a lot safer having it. Oh, the milk went bad while I was in jail.
Black's fine.
Cool.
Would you care to hang on to it for a while? It wouldn't be legal, but if it makes you feel better, I guess.
Well, thanks. I got one now.
It's pretty great.
When this movie came out and I was watching those two talking and her smoking, I was just like, this is fucking incredible. Like,
because it feels like a real conversation.
Right, and you just don't see it in any movie ever, anywhere. It's not like this in a real moment. Like when he's first in her apartment, they're just like listening to some music, drinking some coffee, and
talking about his hair plugs.
Yeah, talking about his hair plugs, talking about her being old but still hot. It's like, it just feels so natural.
Feels very authentic.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so great.
And that apartment is so like, and what makes me kind of sick about nowadays when people are like, I can't afford anything. Look at Jackie's apartment.
Yeah.
It's Spartan, but it's a perfectly fine place for her to live.
Yeah.
And okay.
And this is 1995, and she was making $16,000 a year in like.
But that was not much money. That was really low
in LA.
Anywhere.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, people just didn't bitch about it as much as they do now.
No. He's in all kinds of shit. We're going to see him again if we ever do watch The Black Hole. That's on our list.
Well, and he was nominated for an Oscar for this movie.
The only person, which is just shocking.
Yeah, it is shocking. But to me, his other amazing performance is when he's the 3.5 episodes in Breaking Bad.
I don't remember.
It's incredible. He's the guy at the end that moves him to New Hampshire. He's the vacuum guy.
Yeah. Okay,
he's fucking incredible as that.
Gotcha.
Just... man.
Completely forgot.
Yeah.
The only part that is kind of weird is Robert De Niro's part. Because it's not a typical role for him, I feel like.
It's not.
Because he has barely any dialogue.
But this was the first movie that he actually played against character.
Yeah, but it feels good, though.
So when it came out, it was crazy. It was like, what?
Brother, what's that? What's that, brother?
What is
this guy?
Yeah, who is this guy? Who's this fucking loser?
But that's a real guy.
Yeah,
that guy is a real guy in the world.
That's 50 real guys. Yeah. Are you kidding me? That's every ex-con piece of shit, pussy old bastard I've ever met in my life.
Yeah, it was very good. Very, very good.
Yeah. And then, of course, my guy Ray, Michael Keaton.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Who I just think is one of the best actors.
I completely forgot he was in this movie.
He's fucking great.
No, he is great.
It's like such a great small role.
Yeah.
And he had just come off of being Batman. He was Beetlejuice.
He's just Michael Keaton, being Michael Keaton as a detective.
Well, he's serious Michael Keaton, because there's funny Michael Keaton and there's serious Michael Keaton. And both of them are fucking great. And wow, he did great in this.
I forget he was Beetlejuice. I forget about that. Oh my god,
yeah, it's so good.
It's just when you think of that role and this role, it just doesn't look like the same person.
Or have you ever seen Multiplicity?
No.
Where there's he keeps making copies of himself and they're sillier and dumber. No. Oh man, it's a funny movie. It's a dumb 90s movie, but
have not seen that.
Yeah, pretty good. And then I will shout out, I just like the fact that they had Debo, Tom Lister, the big black guy.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
Well, he's in a few of Tarantino's movies.
Is he?
He's in Pulp Fiction. He's Marcellus Wallace, isn't he?
No.
Is that not him?
No.
Are you
Black
sure?
Simile, yeah, that's Ving Rhames in Pulp Fiction.
Are you sure?
Oh,
okay.
150%.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. No. Yeah, he's... I would like to see him in more nice roles, because he always plays a mean guy,
He's got a mean face.
Yeah.
He's got resting man bitch face.
But he's really nice in this movie, and I really like it. I really like seeing him be nice and
small little part.
Yeah. Well, he's the star in a lot of movies, but he plays small roles pretty often. Like in Friday, Debo, which is got to be his most famous role.
Yeah. I've only seen that movie once that you made me watch, so it's the age difference.
Times.
You can't.
No, I know. But that's one of my touchstone movies. Of course.
I know.
Well, and I guess if we're going to talk about that, Chris Tucker had a very memorable beginning role in this movie.
Such a weird thing because he's so young and it doesn't really look like him.
What? Of course it does.
Well,
to me, I guess, because I don't think of him as the Rush Hour Chris Tucker.
What I think
of him as the Friday Chris Tucker.
Yeah, no, I don't. So that's why I was like, oh, he looks so weird.
Yeah, and he plays a very funny role.
And then lastly, Bridget Fonda as dumb Melanie.
Yeah.
She's just...
Which also, we've all met this lady too, 100 times.
She's just so dumb. She's just a dumb guy. She's dumb, but it's kind of the part is supposed to be kind of could be anybody, so I guess she's kind of perfect slutty, for the part.
Yeah,
I just don't get it. I guess
very different than her Camilla character.
Oh, you don't say. You don't say.
It's funny that those are only a couple of years apart, but they seem like they're light years apart.
Yeah,
she even looks 10 years older in this than she does in Camilla.
Really? I would think the other way around. I thought she looked older in Camilla.
Wow, that's an interesting dichotomy.
But I also don't really understand the appeal of Bridget Fonda. I think she's the most plain-looking chick I've ever seen in my life. But apparently she's supposed to be hot or whatever. I don't know.
Is she? Well...
Yeah, I think she's supposed to be.
I guess in the 90s she was supposed to be, yeah.
Yeah, which is just... I don't get it. But apparently, early fun fact, Christina Applegate almost played that part. Which she would have been too hot for that part.
Well, and she was still too young.
Yeah, it's just, this character has to be, like, kind of not that hot.
Well, and kind of old, yeah.
Just not...
like, out of her prime.
If she's going to be hanging out with all these drug dealers and shit. Like,
and this would have been Christina Applegate, probably in her absolute prime.
Right, too hot. Too perfect for
way
the part.
too hot, yeah.
What you got?
So the part was written for Robert Forster.
And for Pam Grier. He wrote both of these parts.
How the fuck could you write this movie with anybody else in mind? You're like, wonder who I should have play this.
But it's just so cool. I had that same one. Because she auditioned for a part in Pulp Fiction that she didn't get, and so he wrote this.
She auditioned for the part... The part that she auditioned for was weird.
Which part was it?
She auditioned for the part of the heroin addict lady, or the heroin addict's girlfriend, the girl with all the piercings.
See, I don't know, because I have only seen the movie one time, so...
Well, right, but I just know that that's Roseanne Arquette, so I'm like... Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson says this is his favorite Tarantino film, because he has such a big part, maybe? I don't know, but...
No, he has a big
I know, I'm just kidding.
It's because it's fucking great.
It is pretty great.
Michael Keaton tried to talk his way out of getting this role.
Yeah, and then Tarantino's like, that's just his thing. He just says he's not good enough for anything. No, I'm not good enough for that. Samuel L. Jackson says the word motherfucker 37 times in this movie, and it is the record for he's known for saying that in movies, and this is the movie that he says it the most amount of times. Still, 37 times. Yeah,
they said the N-word 84 times.
And apparently, use of that caused Spike Lee to get all upset with Quentin Tarantino and be like, you can't say that.
I don't understand that.
Even though Samuel L. Jackson was like, no, it's fine.
It's gotta be, and Pam Grier, it's gotta be one of the most natural...
See, that's the thing that's ridiculous, is that's how those characters would talk. That's how they would talk.
Especially in 1995. My God. Yeah.
So it's just because he's white and he wrote it, it's so dumb because it's so authentically how those characters would talk, especially Samuel L. Jackson's character.
Yeah, Spike Lee can eat a dick. I don't like Spike Lee. So let's...
It's a tough one. Smoke our way through this?
Cross 110th Street.
Cross 110th Street. There you go.
There you go.
And even though this movie's 2.5 hours, I actually didn't really take that many notes, so hopefully I didn't miss anything.
I took some, but I didn't really need to.
The scenes in this movie, I don't think it's going to take us that long to go through it, because the scenes are... Like, there's a lot of, like, montaging, and not montaging, but there's a lot of, like,
there's a lot of dialogue, which makes it great to watch, but you don't have to talk about every single fucking thing they talked about.
Exactly. So...
Yeah, I mean, but that, once again, that's what makes this movie great. It's got actual dialogue of people talking to each other.
That sounds like real dialogue.
Like people that actually talk to each other.
Yeah. He's a great writer. Like, he really is.
And director, I mean...
I think the writing is... he's a really excellent writer.
Oh, and we didn't even say that this movie's based off a book called Rum Punch.
Which is so interesting.
And apparently this guy, the guy that wrote that book, has had like 38 of his books turned into movies.
Really?
Yeah, and there's even another one where Michael Keaton plays the same character later on.
Weird.
In a book, yeah.
To look it up. I'm curious now with that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Very fun.
She was actually Jackie Burke in the movie. And it was in Florida and Jamaica instead of California and Mexico.
Oh, in the book, she was Jackie Burke. Okay, but Jackie Brown sounds so much cooler.
Well, it was because of Foxy Brown.
Oh, okay, got it. Jackie Brown.
And I like it so much better that it's in California and Mexico.
Well, it makes more sense.
It's just better. It just makes for a better story. So we get this flight attendant intro. We're introduced to Jackie. You just see her walking.
And it's a long credit sequence, basically. Like a very long credit sequence.
Well, it's it's old school.
Yeah.
The credits come in the beginning.
We get the initial scene with Samuel L. Jackson's character, Ordell, and Robert De Niro's character, Lewis. I keep wanting to call him Lucas. Lewis hanging out in the apartment with Bridget Fonda. And there's a major ick moment when she sticks her toe on Robert De Niro's glass.
It icks him out.
It is one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen.
With her toe rings, which, honestly...
Small bit, but so effective, because I literally said out loud, ick.
Yeah. Well, and to me, toe rings are disgusting.
It is disgusting,
like,
right?
What are you doing?
It's... bleh. Ugh. Anything with feet, disgusting. But they basically, Samuel L. Jackson's just going off about all these guns that he sells.
Well, yeah, they're watching this chicks with guns thing, and he's talking about his business and how much money he's making, trying to impress Lewis, trying to get him in on the business because he's just gotten out of prison.
Right.
And then we cut to the bail bondsman.
Yeah, they go to get
Cherry.
A bail bond for this Beaumont guy, and even in the interaction between Odell and we meet Max Cherry, Michael Forrester's character. I enjoy their interactions as well quite a bit.
Well, yeah, because somehow Forrester is he's incredible. And that was one of the things that surprised me looking him up, is that he didn't have a bigger career than he did.
Because yeah.
But I'm just surprised that there wasn't like a big cop show or a big something. Because when you see him in this movie, you're like, wow, what?
He's just got kind of a presence about him.
Yeah, very good presence. And so they're chit-chatting. He gets the bond.
He goes to pick up Beaumont at night.
Picks up Beaumont.
And tells him, I'm going to go...
they're fucking with you. The cops are just fucking with you.
Yeah, and I gotta go get these guns, or sell these guns to these Koreans. I need you to get help in the trunk. And I couldn't remember at first. I was like, wait, is he going to take him and shoot him? And I couldn't remember. And then I was like, oh yeah, he drives him basically around the corner and shoots him because he doesn't want him to tell that he's, the guy. Even though the cops already seem to know that he's the guy.
And he drives... Well, the cops only knew because Beaumont told him.
That's what I mean. They already know. So
but he didn't really realize that Beaumont had already ratted him out. But then he drives that car with Beaumont in the back and shows Lewis what he'd done.
Kind of, I think, to be like, this is going to happen to you if you fuck me, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's definitely what it was. It was to send a message. It's like, hey, this is serious business. I deal with motherfuckers seriously if there's a problem.
I've killed like 12 of them before this, or something like that, is what he said, I think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because this is where I said this is such a weird, passive... but effective role for Robert De Niro. Like, he just is so, like, just passive. And usually he plays parts that are very, like, in your face, commanding.
Well, yeah, he's almost always the main character and the alpha male of the group. So
yeah, so it's just very different for him.
So then we get Jackie getting ambushed in a parking lot by ATF and LAPD. They take her downtown, they interrogate her.
She's got $50,000 of cash.
And then they find some coke.
And they find coke that she's like, doesn't even know it's there.
Not mine, yeah. They want Ordell, and they send her to jail because they found the coke. Ordell goes and bails her out the same way. He's like, Beaumont's brains out? He blew Beaumont's brains out.
Question about bail bonds. So, when he's like, you're going to transfer the $10,000, is that, like... Why wouldn't he have to pay an additional $10,000? I don't understand how bail bonds work.
So he gives... Normally, bail bonds are based on, like, you'd say, okay, here, Mr. Bail Bondsman, you can have the title to my car, which is worth X amount of money.
Right.
And if really that bond is just to make sure that the person who's arrested, when they get out, they come back and go to court.
But so since he was dead...
It's released. Because otherwise, like, say he would have run away and Ordell put up, like, a car, he could have taken away Ordell's car and, like, made it his own to pay for the bond. Or he goes and gets the guy.
Okay, got it.
It's something, it's more with the courts. Like, the bail bondsman's, like, the middle guy for that stuff.
Right, so his fee is just, like, the 10%.
And that's why he was like, why are you if you're putting up cash, why don't you just do it yourself?
No, I understood that, but I guess I didn't understand, like, why he was able to transfer it.
Because once the guy's dead, there's no longer a bond.
It just seems like then why would
he's no longer out on bail? The charges are dropped, like it's over.
Oh, okay, because there's... Okay, got it.
Yeah, so he can then change that bond, although he has to pay another $1,000, because he loses 10% no matter what.
Right.
Because that's Max's fee.
Okay.
And that's why he makes him pay that $1,000 when he gets Jackie out. Remember, he's bitching and whining, and he's like, fine, motherfucker.
I understood that part of it. I just didn't understand why he was able to transfer it, because I'm like, why wouldn't more people just kill people? Like, I don't know.
Well, usually it's like your mom that bails you out of jail.
Okay, that's a good point. It's not.
It's not usually your employer.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Thank you for clearing that up.
Well, you notice every time he's talking to like, oh, is the father in the home? Like, you know.
Okay.
He's talking to people's parents.
Yeah.
That's who bails you out of
Clearly,
jail.
I've never really been involved with people in jail, so I don't really know how all this works. Excuse my ignorance for all you ex-cons out there.
Yeah. Which is not me, by the way, but either way. So then Max goes to pick up Jackie, and he is immediately in love.
He's into it. As soon as he sees her walking, the music plays, and he's like, oh, Lord, this lady, because she is hot. She's very hot.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Even though she's like 46 or something.
It doesn't matter. She's hot.
They film this? Yeah, no.
It doesn't matter. She's hot.
Yeah.
He drives her home, and then they go to a bar to get a drink, which is just like kind of weird in the context of it.
Smokes and a drink. I actually think it's less weird back then than it is now.
Yeah, I guess that's probably true.
It was way more common to be able to go get a drink because you were much less worried about drinking and driving.
But that's not... I mean, it's weird that she would be like, yeah, let's hang out with this bail bondsman guy. Like...
No, back then, I'm telling you, it wasn't as weird. I actually think if you...
So maybe back then it's like the equivalent of like, let's go get a cup of coffee or something, or...
Yeah, maybe, but I mean... just think about being somewhere more friendly than where we live.
Okay, but that's what it is, because we live in an area...
where people don't want to talk to each other, and they just... She's fine having this guy to talk, because really, she also doesn't have anybody else to talk to.
That's true, yeah.
Like, so she's fine going out, getting a drink, smoking some cigarettes before she goes home, and talking this out with somebody.
Why do I feel this way? Thinking about you every day, and I don't even know.
Miss Brown?
Take me.
I'm Max Cherry, your bail bondsman. I could give you a lift home if you like.
And I take to the sky. Loving you more till the day I die. Take to the sky. I want you to be mine. Loving you more.
And all the bar scene dialogue is great. Like all of their dialogue.
And that is a cool bar, by the way.
It is pretty. It is pretty cool. Oh, I'm gonna have to come check this out.
Well, that's Ordell later, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And so, of course, because she asks Max about the cash bond, she knows that Ordell's going to come and try and kill her that night. So she steals a gun from Max.
Which you don't realize at first.
No, you don't know this, but then, Ordell comes over right away and tries to kill her, tries to strangle her.
But she gets the quick one on it.
In one of the, creepiest scenes.
Yeah, because he keeps turning the light off, and it's so creepy. And I'm like, oh my god.
And he has those fucking gloves on.
It's so creepy.
Big, thick leather gloves. And he's just like, he's got his hands on her neck, and then she's like...
Yeah, it's very effective. And then he's like...
and then she's pissed and yelling at him, and...
She takes his gun.
Yeah, takes his gun, which is now her gun from here on out.
Basically, she kind of... Does she tell him kind of her loose plan at this point?
She says that she has an idea. That's all we hear.
Okay.
And then we cut to the next morning. Max comes to pick up his gun. She's in the robe, and we get this excellent scene.
Yeah, where he's completely enamored with her.
One of the best scenes in the movie. Yeah, he's enamored with her. They're chilling. I think she's actually enamored with him, too, to be honest.
Because he's, like, a good guy.
Well, and he's chill, and he's, like, comfortable in his own skin. I think that's attractive for her.
Well, and she's used to being around, like, all the, like, people like Ordell who are like, I'm so flashy and I have all these guns.
Well, and we find out that she covered for her husband doing drugs when she was a flight attendant for Delta. Like,
yeah, so
she's been through a lot of shit.
And here's this normal guy.
Stable guy, I would say, more than normal.
Yeah, stable guy. Owns his own business, like...
Yeah, owns his own business, doesn't take any bullshit, tough motherfucker.
So they have their heart-to-heart, and then she goes into the police station...
Well, and he gives her a lot of advice.
Oh, yeah, before she goes in there.
Yeah, so she goes in, because and the whole point of their conversation is that she'd rather either be killed,
get all the money,
get all the money, or, fuck up trying, then go to prison, because starting her life over after prison's not possible.
Right.
Like, she's going to end up working at fucking Walmart.
Right.
When she pops out. It's just not acceptable to her. Understandably.
So her plan basically is to play the cops and play Ordell and end up with the money. That's her plan.
Yeah. In a nutshell, yeah. So she says, hey, cops, you got to give me immunity and I need to be able to leave the country. I got to be able to fly. Here's my idea. So she loosely lays it out. And then it cuts to Ordell and Lewis getting high with Melanie.
I can't with this scene.
And when I first saw this movie and when I was younger, this was probably one of my favorite scenes of the movie.
Why?
It's so ridiculous and it's so real. So
it is so real.
It's so real. They're getting high. This is when people are calling and she's... No.
What happens is Ordell leaves. He knows...
he gets called, by Jackie.
He knows that Melanie...
is going to fuck him.
And he's, cool with it
because
he doesn't care.
Probably hardly ever fucks her anyways.
And so he's like, okay, bye. And then Lewis and Melanie are hanging out.
And this really awkward flirtish...
It's a flirtatious conversation.
And they've known each other for a million years.
Right, because he references the picture on the fridge where she's 14.
Right. And he's like, when was the last time I see you? It must have been 6 or 7 years ago.
Right. And then all of a sudden she's like, you want to fuck?
Want to fuck?
And he's like, casually, just so casual about it.
Yeah.
And it's 3 minutes later, they just go about their business getting high.
Now we can catch up. Yeah.
It's
now that the tension's been released.
It's an awkward scene. I find it very awkward, but it's not like it should be removed from the movie or anything.
No, it's very real. That's what I'm saying. It's so realistic.
Yeah.
It's so much okay, yeah, this totally checks out. And Melanie's talking all this shit hey, you want to help me just steal the money that's coming in and we can just go away with it?
Yeah.
And immediately, Lewis, next scene, is in the bar with Ordell telling him, hey, I'm not comfortable with this fucking bitch acting like this and saying this shit, and Ordell's like, fucking, that's just how she is.
It's fine. I don't have to worry about it. You gotta ignore
about it. You don't have to worry about it. She is who she is.
Well, but in between that, though, there is a scene where Jackie and Ordell are at the bar, and and this is when Jackie lays out kind of her full plan and makes him comfortable with it.
Oh, I'm fine.
Yes, you are. Damn, I bet you come in here on a Saturday night. You need nigga repellent to keep the motherfuckers off your ass.
Oh, I do okay.
Bullshit, Jackie. You're a fine motherfucker. I bet you do a damn sight better than okay. You think anybody followed you?
I don't think so. But it don't matter because they already know I'm people.
How the fuck do you know that?
I told them.
You told me. 325. Keep it. You, sir. You told me. It's me.
They already know it's you.
You goddamn, that don't mean you got to confirm it.
Look, the only way they're going to give me permission to fly is if I agree to help them, which is what I have to appear to be doing. So I might as well give them somebody they already know.
Of course, she doesn't tell him she's really going to fuck him over of all of his money, but... And then it gets with Bridget Fonda telling him they should steal the money, and then Max, or Ordell and Lewis at the bar being like, I don't know about this, da-da-da-da.
And then we get the fake exchange scene. Sorry. This is the food court planning scene. And Ordell's there, they're looking around, he gives him the bags that he's supposed to use. And he sees Max there, and he's like, what the fuck? And he doesn't really care, he walks away.
Yeah, because Max... Was that seeing a movie by himself or something?
Yeah, he just happened to be there. It really was a coincidence.
Yeah.
But... This is where...
Jackie loops him in to help her.
Well, yeah, he talks about that he's done doing the bail bonds, getting out of the business, and she's like, but you're not answering me. Would you do it if you had the chance to take the $500,000? Obviously, he says yes, but it's not on screen.
And then they get the money drop trial run, basically.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. So after that, actually, she goes over the full plan with Ordell and the full plan with Ray.
But not her full plan.
Not her full plan, but each of their full plans. Yeah. So they do the $10,000 trial run. It goes fine.
Well, okay, so here's my question, because Shawanda, or whatever her name is, the chick that's meeting Jackie to pick up the bag, and then she ended up swapping it with the other lady. Did Jackie know about the other lady?
No, that's why Max stayed there to watch what happened. Max saw the fact that Simone actually got the bag.
And so Max told Jackie.
Yeah, that Simone.
And that's where she got her actual plan. Okay.
Yeah. And remember when Jackie got all mad at Ordell because she said she stayed behind and saw it happen.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, got it.
And it really turned out that Simone lady took the money, left her house, and ran away with the money.
Yeah.
Which is so funny because $10,000 is so little.
We skipped over it, but earlier in the movie, there's this whack scene where that Simone chick is like being like Donna Summer and for Lewis, and it's fucking weird and wacky and great.
She's eventually gonna fuck him too. That's the point.
No, I know. But it's
like, she just does this whole dress up and
it's funny sexy. Because it was the beginning scene where right after he had shot Beaumont, because then when they're on the phone and Lewis is like, yeah, come on in. He's like, no, man, I already caught that show.
Yeah,
like, I don't need to see that. It's just great dialogue.
When he's asking who the people are, he's like, well, I'm not sure who exactly they are. It just checks out, because how the hell is this fucking idiotic white criminal going to know these black 70s artists? He's not. He's just like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's great dialogue. The whole thing is just so, like, that's what would happen.
Right.
This weird-ass bitch. So back to...
now it's time for the real exchange.
The real money exchange. Everybody's getting ready to go do their part.
And Jackie's like, hey, ever think about taking some money to Ray? And he's like, I'm not fucking around, bitch. Like... He gets so serious about the ATF.
Oh, he's so serious.
You're not going to fucking do anything stupid, are you, Jackie? But the way that they have this set up, there's really nothing stupid for her to do, which is like the only nitpick I have with what happens later when he has her in there. It's like, obviously she didn't do anything for herself. I mean, even though she did. As far as you know, it's clear that none of this would benefit her whatsoever.
Well, except for the money.
But he didn't know that she had the other $450,000.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's
what I mean. As far as he knew, nothing that happened benefited her, but we'll get to that. It all starts off with Lewis having trouble with Melanie. She doesn't want... She's getting ready.
It's fucking great.
He has to call Ordell like a little fucking bitch. And Ordell's like, just fucking go and grab her by her hair and get the fuck out of there. What are you doing, you idiot? Why are you still there?
Yeah, so they go down there and... Jackie's in the changing room.
We get the Street Life. Everybody getting there. The song Street Life.
Oh, yeah.
Street Life.
I
think that's one of the better scenes, like montage scenes of any movie.
Yeah.
Is that Street Life. And you see everybody doing their thing. Oh, I love it.
I can tell.
Yeah.
When Jackie's in the fitting room and she's swapping out the bags for the bag with the books and then putting a little bit of cash on top.
The $50,000.
And then she smartly puts that $10,000 or whatever
on Melanie
of marked bills for Melanie, knowing that Melanie is going to stick it in her...
She's going to take it, yeah.
She's going to take it, so she'll have it on her. When Melanie and Lewis are going out to the parking lot and she's fucking with him...
Jesus. But if you two aren't the biggest pair of fuck-ups I've ever met in my entire life, how did you ever rob a bank? Hey, when you robbed banks, did you have to look for your car then, too? No wonder you went to jail. Is it this aisle, Lewis? Is it?
Lewis?
She's
like, oh, where's the car? Okay,
Lewis?
She's fucking right. Like, are you kidding me? You're doing a fucking...
Wait. She's right throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
She's way smarter than them.
And she's like, "Oh wow, no wonder you got caught robbing a bank. You couldn't even find the car."
Did you have to find the car when you robbed the bank? She's so fucking belittling of Lewis, and Lewis just
turns around and shoots her.
Well, yeah, because his ex-con prison brain, the best he can do with his emotions is, you know what? Fuck it, shoot her, bang, bang. Shot her twice. He kind of comes over. He's like, see, it's where I thought it was, right over here. And he's backing out, and he kills the fucking car. Like, it's so lame. He is such a fucking lame loser.
Yeah, he is.
Like, you're getting away, and it's like, oh, I killed it. Let me.
As she's just laying over there bleeding out dead.
Yeah, and I'm sure people are screaming and flipping out.
Well, that was the only thing, is you didn't hear any chaos, anything when he shot her.
I actually think that's more realistic because it was very quick, quiet-ish.
It's like the middle of the day.
But he's going through it quick, so you don't even know maybe what you heard because it was only 2 shots.
Yeah, I guess.
If you think when you watch these videos of like when people really react, it's because people shot like 15 times.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
But like 2 quick pops, that could have been somebody backfiring. Nobody would really notice until somebody saw her on the ground.
And cars did backfire a lot more back then.
Yes.
Than they do now. So I guess that does check out.
Yeah.
Then it kind of just has this thing where it backs up and shows like...
different perspectives.
Different perspectives, right?
So first we had Jackie's perspective, which we skipped over, where she pays for the suit and she runs out and out and out of the store looking...
frantic,
harried and frantic, and finally has to go, Ray, where are you?
I forgot exactly how this all came together, and I thought she was looking for Max Cherry, and I was like, what the fuck? Where is he?
No.
And then I was like, oh yeah, she's tricking everyone. Okay, got it. So she basically is like, oh my god, Melanie came into the dressing room and stole the money. Oh my god.
And she was really smart. The smartest thing about this is that they really didn't discuss a contingency plan, which comes up later. But after the Melanie thing, we get the Max view of everything.
Right.
And Max gets to see Lewis and Melanie fighting the whole way and him being a fucking psycho.
Why did he, motion to Lewis?
He had to once Lewis saw him. He's just like...
That was confusing when it was Lewis's perspective.
Because if you look... But when you look from Max's perspective, Lewis is fucking mad dogging him. He's like staring at him. And
I guess I forgot in the moment that they had encountered...
kind of seen each other a little bit.
Or in the first part of the movie. So that's why I was like, why is he motioning to him?
But really, if somebody's mad dogging you in general, you're just kind of like, hey-o.
Yeah, okay. Got it. Now, see, it made sense after I thought about it. But initially I was confused.
And so Max goes and picks up the bag and says, oh, my wife left her towels in there.
Well, yeah, because as Jackie was leaving, she's like, oh, somebody left a bag of towels in that last fitting room.
So he goes and gets it. He walks out to his car. He's amazed nobody's following him.
Because why would
But yeah, I mean, I think he's just amazed that it worked because he's never done... I don't think he's ever done anything wrong in his whole
he's probably
life.
never even jaywalked.
Right. And he's fucking out of there. BFD. So now we cut to Lewis picking up Odell at the strip club.
Yeah, and Ordell's like, where's the rest of the money? He's
well, first he's like, where's Melanie? Oh, I had to shoot her.
Where's Melanie?
Well, that's what I want to tell you. You see, she was bugging me the whole time. She got pissy with me because I wouldn't let her carry the bag, and then she started running her fucking mouth about, because I couldn't remember where the car was parked right away when we came out. So then she got on me about that. Is it this aisle, Lewis? Is it that aisle, Lewis? It's totally fucking with my nerves, man.
So what? You left her there?
I shot her.
You shot Melanie?
Twice. In the parking lot.
You couldn't talk to her?
Well, how can you talk to her?
You couldn't just hit her?
Maybe, but at that moment, I don't know.
You shot her twice?
Because she wouldn't shut him. He's like,
you couldn't just punch her.
Yeah, I told you to just hit her in the mouth if she becomes a problem. Simple. Well, no, I shot her. Okay, fine. Then he grabs the bag and he's like, well, where's the rest of the fucking money? There's $40,000 here. I'm missing $510,000.
And then he's like, oh, you guys took it. This is all a sham.
But before that, Lewis lets out that Max Cherry was there. He's like, you didn't motherfucking think to motherfucking blah, blah, blah. You see that guy there? You don't think something's up?
Yeah, because Lewis doesn't really know that Max Cherry knows Jackie. He doesn't know that.
Well, and he's like, I don't know. And you just see how fucking pathetic Lewis is and sad, and so Ordell shoots him because he's a fucking sad sack, pathetic piece of shit. And he just ends it. He's like, I don't fucking need this shit.
Yeah. So he takes his money and leaves, and
in a bright yellow jacket. I'm just like, really? You don't want to be inconspicuous a little bit? And the funny thing is so then when Max shows up at his house after this with the money, he still has the bloodstained shirt on.
Yeah, he does.
Ordell's a fucking moron. Like,
yeah, he is.
He's so stupid.
Well, he shows up with the $10,000 bail bond, just to clarify.
Yeah.
Like,
he shows up with the bail bond, and then he cops to, oh yeah, Jackie's scared. She's at my shop. Yada yada yada. Like, she's real scared. He's like, motherfucker, Jackie's never scared. And he calls her, and she's really scared. So they go there.
Because this is how dumb Ordell is, because it's like, you wouldn't make her come to your house.
Well, he tried that, but he's like, oh, you shouldn't have the combination to safe. No, you really don't understand how scared she is. You're going to have to go there no matter what. He sells it. He does a good job of selling it. He's like, no, I promise nobody's there. You don't have to worry about anything. There's that awkward scene where they're listening to Delfonics, and he's like, what?
Well, because it's the music that Jackie was playing in the apartment.
Well, but
and
Ordell doesn't know that, but he knows that no white person's going to know who the fucking Delfonics are.
Right.
It's like, what the fuck is going on? They walk into Cherry Bail Bonds, and he's like, oh, hey, Jackie. And she's like, oh, hi. Blah, 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 blah,
well, before they get there, though, Jackie's, like, sitting there.
Oh, practicing pulling out the gun. Which,
then she turns off the lights, and, like, just the visuals of her smoking the cigarette, and the blue smoke from the cigarette in the dark. It was a really, like...
It's pretty cool.
It's a really nice visual scene. I really did like that a lot. Because it's very tense, and you're just like, oh my god, what's going to happen? They're going to have this big showdown. It's going to be so dramatic. And then they just walk in, and she just yells, Ray, he's got a gun. Ray comes out and shoots Ordell, and he's dead.
Well, yeah, that was her plan the whole time.
I know that, but so this is what I'm talking about
with... silence him.
With the pacing... is that normally this end scene with the villain
is a big
drawn out, but this was much more effective.
Oh, it's so much better
because you're not expecting it. I'm like, oh shit,
yeah,
the guys there, the cops are there.
It's not a trope. It's like, oh my god, it's not a trope.
It's more of what would actually happen.
And so, well, maybe though.
No, if you were Jackie Brown, you would 100% call the police.
But did you really expect the police were going to be there? I didn't.
No, it makes sense because...
I didn't say it didn't make sense.
She calls...
But when you watch this movie, like, say, for the first time, do you really expect that the fucking police are going to be there to shoot him?
No, but in all...
But that's what I mean. It's a good reveal.
No,
it is.
Cool. It is, but in real life... That's 100% what you would do.
Right.
You'd be like, he's coming.
You're going to set him up not to get arrested, but to get fucking shot.
Yeah,
And that's why you have the fucking lights off. So it's essentially suicide, murder by cop, by proxy, by whatever. But what a fucking awesome movie. And then the end scene is just fantastic.
Jackie and Max heart to heart, where she tries to get him to come to Spain. And
he doesn't really believe her, and they kiss. And the phone rings and kind of stops him, and he's like, hang on, you gotta call me back in half an hour.
I gotta go masturbate.
Well, no, okay, so there are two ways that this movie ended. Is that he either went and masturbated and decided not to go with her, or he went and masturbated and decided to go with her.
What, went and met her at the airport?
Or just went to Madrid right after her. Just got on the next plane. No, I disagree. He had that fucking lipstick on him. He had that fucking, like, what the fuck? Why the fuck am I talking to this dumb bitch look on the phone? Like, no, he went after her.
I guess. I think it's just more like...
No, he was getting rid of that business. He went after her. He knows he's old. He got the fuck out of there.
Maybe, but
There's no way.
It's not shown on screen. This is just Dee's alternate ending.
No, it's not an alternate ending. There is no ending. All he did was, all we see is him hang up the phone on a customer, which he would never do, and then go grab his face in the back for a second. He fucking got the fuck out of there.
Maybe.
He was getting out of the game. He's out of the game. As soon as he kissed that bitch back, it was over. It was over.
I mean, I would like to think that, but I also think it's kind of poignant that he doesn't go with her.
I don't. I think that's a waste of everybody's time.
Well, they didn't show it,
so it doesn't matter if they showed it.
It's up for.
It's what you think, and I think he went after her because it doesn't make any sense. There's no world in which it makes sense that after he kissed that bitch, that he decided not to go after her.
Because the end of the movie is just showing her driving in the car. Like, they didn't,
Whoa. That's showing her in the car just going to the airport.
That's what I mean.
But that doesn't mean that anything else didn't happen. It's obviously left open-ended because it's a good movie. That's part.
Yeah, I know.
The fact that they don't show the end is part of what makes it good. But that doesn't mean that the good thing didn't happen.
I think it's debatable.
No way. No fucking way. Or he didn't wait any longer than to get her first postcard and show up at her fucking front door.
Maybe.
That's as long as he waited.
Maybe. You would think that
just to wrap up his business and get rid of that shit.
What is waiting for you in LA?
That's what I mean. He was getting rid of his business. Like, he was done. It was over. He's leaving. And he's gonna go after her. He's gonna go tame that shit.
And Jackie Brown can't be tamed.
Hard to disagree. But that's a whole different topic for a different day.
Okay.
Anywho.
That's the end of the movie.
That is the end of the movie. You got any awards for
I have a couple. My first new award is the Casually Cool award. Because this movie is just so casually cool. Like, nothing about this movie is too overdone, too over the top, too in your face. It's very realistic. You feel like it's a real place. These are real people. It's just cool. Like,
so can you believe that at the time this was considered a flop to being the follow-up for Pulp Fiction?
Well, that's what doesn't make any sense to me.
It makes no fucking sense to me either. When I saw this movie in the movie theater, I was like, this is one of the best fucking movies I've ever seen. And everybody else is like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, wait, did we watch the same thing?
I just think people just didn't... Maybe they didn't get it?
But see, I think the 90s was full of this because there was Fargo, right? The movie Fargo. And then they followed it up with The Big Lebowski, and people were like, what the fuck? But it's just as good of a movie. It's like... there was this, like, brain malfunction with lots of people that they wanted to... Because what they wanted to see for a follow-up movie is the exact same movie instead of a different, but just as good movie.
So the thing with Tarantino movies is they're all so different, but they all have a very cohesive style, and there's definitely, you can tell certain things about it's a Tarantino movie, but...
Right.
But the thing is, like, especially nowadays, you could... Any new movie that comes out, you can say... Oh, that movie's like this movie and this movie and this movie. But, like, this movie, I can't think of another movie that this movie is like.
No.
Like, is it a heist movie? Is it a... There's not another movie that's like that.
And really, it was all just made to be an exploitation movie.
Right.
And what he called a hangout movie, which I actually think it is, which is amazing.
What's a hangout
movie?
Like,
you're hanging out with the characters, and that's why every single time you watch it, it gets better.
Yeah.
And better. And better. Wait, what was the point that you were just making?
It's just a casually cool movie. That there's nothing else like it. Doesn't compare to anything. I don't know what you were...
Sorry, I know.
Hangout movie.
No. Before that. You made a point just before that I had a thought that I wanted
No Tarantino movies are like the other. You can't compare this movie to something else.
That might have been it.
Heist movie.
No. Go back. No,
nowadays, when you watch...
Oh, yeah. Okay, so with the Tarantino movies not being like the others, because I consider the two... And what you were saying earlier about his writing, two of my very favorite movies of all time are both Quentin Tarantino movies that he didn't direct.
Yeah.
Natural Born Killers and True Romance.
Yeah.
Are amazing Tarantino movies that he just didn't happen to direct.
But
are written in the same style of, there is no other movie like this.
Yeah.
It's fucking incredible. It just happened to be a different director who did an amazing job with both of those scripts.
Yeah, he's a better. I think he's the reason his movies are so good. 2 reasons is the writing and the pacing, and and the pacing has to do with the writing because it's the scene length,
and it works in all of those movies.
Yeah,
like it's just,
and that's why usually when a movie is bad, you can blame the director, you can blame the act. It's the writing is the heart and soul of any movie is the writing because the pacing, the dialogue, it all boils down to the writing.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. So, my first award.
Yeah,
we've got a lot of tangents in this. Is the
well, you're passionate about it clearly,
yes,
so
I am.
It's okay. It's good.
Is the Ordell "What in the Hair Is That" Do award?
Oh my god, the hair!
This is such
hair.
When I first saw this movie, I was like, "What the fuck is that? Why does he have a
scraggly ponytail?
Not even scraggly ponytail, but like when it's down, it's just so." Red and thin.
That was his idea.
Straight. I saw that it was his idea, and I'm just like, Sammy, what is this?
But it checks out for that character.
It does, but it's so bad. It's just, what the fuck? What was that?
It was perfect.
God.
It was great.
All right. But it is one of the worst hairdos in movies.
It's because it's like he's bald on top, and then it's just the scraggle red.
It's just so thin.
Well, yeah, he's old.
Ugh. No. They did something to make it thin.
It's not great.
That's not how his hair is. He grows thick afros and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's a wig, probably, honestly. It's bad. I have another new one. I guess we might have something similar, but the Sonic Perfection, which is just that there's not a lot of songs in this movie, but every single song, and that's another trademark of a Tarantino movie, is he picks these songs that are not popular songs per se, but they all fit the scene very, very, very well.
And the theme of having the 110th Street at the beginning and the end.
Yeah.
And like I said, the Street Life song being that montage at the end.
Yeah, all the songs are great.
Street Life. Or that Johnny Cash song that Ordell is listening to before he tries to go kill Jackie is so goddamn good.
And the Delfonics song is great.
The Delfonics song, yeah. My other award, which we probably also have something kind of like this, is the Jackie Bad Bitch Award. Like
a VIP award?
Well, just how fucking cool and intelligent and like you're just like, wow, she's fucking amazing. Like, she's just such a fucking cool character.
Yeah, she's a great character.
Yeah, it's just uncommon. Like, just like, wow.
Enamored.
Wow.
You're just as enamored as Robert Forster is.
Right, yeah, I almost am, yeah. And I think as a viewer, you're supposed to be as enamored with her as Robert Forster is.
Yeah.
That's kind of the point of this movie. You're just supposed to be like, ooh, Jackie. And I think I've always felt like that.
Ooh, Jackie.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much.
Maybe it's the ooh, Jackie.
Yeah, that actually is that's a better way to put it. I didn't think about that.
Ooh, Jackie.
Ooh, Jackie.
This is an old one, but it's the stereotypical 90s not hot award for Bridget Fonda. Because she is the definition of 90s chick that everybody apparently thought was hot in the 90s. And I just don't get it.
The only thing that she needed was a pair of jellies.
She looks like anybody.
Yeah,
and her face looks like a piece of toast. Like it's just milk toast.
That's what you get when you have famous parents, I guess.
Yep.
Oh, it's like the Kate Hudson thing. Like, she's just Kate Hudson 10 years before.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. My other award is the Worn Out Prison Bitch Criminal Award for Lewis. Like, he's such a stereotypical, been to prison one too many times, just a little bit too old of a criminal, punk-ass bitch boy. Think of all, like, even in cartoons, like the henchmen who are just punk bitches. This guy is just such a fucking punk-ass bitch. Oh, well, I think he's pretty smart. I think he's got it together. It's like, you're such a fucking bitch, dude. Go retire.
My last award is an old one. It's the Jodie Foster VIP Award for every single person in this movie.
Yeah, okay,
because it's literally every person from Pam Grier down to Michael Keaton's character is just, you believe that they're that person.
You know, even the other cop, the guy, what was his name?
Oh, the douchebag guy, yeah.
Yeah. Michael Bowen was amazing. Like, very good.
Yeah, every character you believe that's a real person that lives in the real world, in this world, and it's just, everybody did a great job.
I mean, I know you were 6, but in 1995, highly realistic.
Well, yeah, it feels realistic now. It holds up.
Yeah, it does. It does. But these people, for the time, feel even more real. And so that ties perfectly into my award, where I also went for an old award, the Immersive World Award.
I almost put that one.
But, yeah, to me, this is just, you're diving into South Central in the mid-90s.
Yeah.
Like, kind of right after the peak of the gang epidemic down there.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, still obviously pretty criminal.
Yeah.
But not like the late 80s NWA era. And you're just kind of seeing that whole thing, and I think it's fantastic.
Yes, it is.
Surprise, surprise!
Surprise or disappointment, we kind of already touched on it. I was surprised the first time, and I was surprised again that ending scene was so quick. I just didn't remember that, because it's so stereotypical that would be dragged out for a long time.
It took me a lot to figure something out, so I went with the Robert Forster career, like I already talked about. It's very surprising.
I mean, he's been in a lot of stuff, but
I expected him to, like I said, I expected him to have a cop show that was like 180 episodes long in the 70s. Something that would make more sense to how great of an actor he is, but there's no big thing there. It doesn't make sense to me. So, sequel, remake, no, fuck off.
Nothing.
Fuck off.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Final thoughts?
Final thoughts?
No, I mean, we already said it, but I really don't understand why this doesn't get as much attention as any of the other Tarantino films.
I would just say this is what movies are supposed to be.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So did you get a budget for this?
I was surprised. The budget was only $12 million, and they only made $40 million, which is just shocking.
That's what I mean. It was a fucking flop.
It's just so
unfortunate. The $12 million, if you think about it.
Yeah, they didn't have a big cast.
Only thing they had to pay for was the actors.
Yeah.
And almost at this point, people would have done Tarantino movies for free.
Yeah.
And for a good reason. But I maintain, even though I normally, well, especially now, would say that it's ridiculous in the modern times, I think back then, having a black two main characters, and especially a black woman leading a movie, nobody could handle it.
Back in the 90s, this was true.
Back in 1997, yeah.
But nowadays, the narrative that would still be true is completely false.
Yeah, it's completely false
completely
now.
ridiculous. But
and when people are like, oh, well, we need more... Well, no, you need more stuff like this.
Yeah.
Original things that are
things, not just... Not taking
just
a white character...
something and making
it black. You need original characters.
Because really, that's more offensive to black people than anything, but... Either way,
we're not going to talk about what is offensive to black people.
Well, it should be at least. It should be.
Well, no. If I was, it is patronizing.
But this is how you write original characters and make them one of the best characters ever. Okay.
Yeah.
Easy enough. So, what do you think the Rotten Tomatoes score for this movie is?
I'm going to guess that it's not. I mean, it's going to be not nearly as high as it should be, but somewhere in the 60s probably.
Oh, no, it's not that bad. Yeah.
Just because I figured it was a flop, so I figured, it might have gotten bad reviews, or not great reviews, but...
88 with the critics, 85 with the people. Not nearly where it needs to be, but fine. Kat, what is your score?
I really like this movie. I gave it a 96%, or 9.6 out of 10. It's not shade. That's a good. I don't give movies that high of scores very often.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
Anything over 95 is like a near perfect movie to me. 9.6 out of 10 googly-eyed Robert Forsters.
I give this movie 110%.
Of 100, okay, you can't give it 110. You can't give it 110%.
Try to make it on the street.
100%. Okay.
110%. It doesn't really get better than this. I mean, there's things that are equal, but this is what movies are supposed to be.
I guess the reason I don't give it 100% is it's hard because it's not one that I would want to watch all the time because it's so long.
See, I disagree with you.
You have to devote a lot of time to watching this.
Because if you just sit down and watch it, the time ends up not being a factor.
Unless time is a factor.
Well, right, but you're not going to be like, oh, I have something to do in a few minutes, I'm going to watch Jackie Brown.
Well, that's what I mean.
But if you're like, I'm in the mood to watch Jackie Brown, and you watch it. Yeah. So to me, that it just doesn't factor in.
Yeah.
Because every single time you watch it, like I said, it gets better every single time you watch it.
Yeah, I agree.
So, well, right, but you've only seen it twice.
That's what I mean. So probably the next time I see it, ittle be like, 98%. And that time
you'll get to 110.
I'll get to 110 after I've seen it 25 times like you.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll get there.
All right, so now it's time for Kat's favorite part of the podcast.
Ooh, Jackie. God, it's so scary now. There's so many choices.
So many choices. Choices and voices. This time we get number 205.
Huh. That's going to be... older.
Definitely way older. Definitely haven't seen it.
Uh-oh. What's that face?
So, it's from 1990. Do you want to throw
1990. So it could be Miramax, Touchstone, All the Pictures, or Disney. I don't know.
So number 205 from 1990, Touchstone film called Stella.
Just Stella.
Stella, that's all it's called.
Huh. Stella. So obviously that's the name of a female character.
Yeah.
Or is Stella like the name of like a show dog named Stella?
Or a horse.
Or a horse named Stella.
I'm going with horse.
No, I think it's a lady. I think it's a black lady. And she's like, I'm Stella.
Okay, you're going to go with a black lady. I'm going to go with a grandma.
A grandma? What is this, Medea?
In the South. Yeah, something like that.
Stella. Man, we've had Camilla. And we have Stella.
Okay, so yeah, Stella.
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 Stella, no. Come back.
Stella, help.
Fuck you, Stella.
You're not my real mom.
You stole my boyfriend.
Wow.
Maybe she's like a musical prodigy and she's trying to make it like, in the music industry. She starts she's a background vocalist and she's trying to make it on her own. And then someone discovers her in a bar and then they fall in love like Bodyguard style.
Maybe it's like Bridge to Terabithia, but
no.
The lady's name's Stella.
No.
Okay.
So, yeah.
No.
Next week. Stella.
Although, a part of me thinks that it's this Harrison Ford movie, but maybe not.
What, is he a bodyguard for Stella?
No. See, I don't know. And I'm probably thinking of something else, but we'll see.
We'll find out next week.
Yeah, we will find out next week. So, in the meantime, like, subscribe, leave a review, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah. Shout out your favorite Tarantino things. Have you seen Jackie Brown?
Which is everything.
We'd love to know.
If you haven't, go ahead and do so.
Yeah. And you have till March 30th. Well, that won't be relevant. Never mind, because this is coming out after March 30th.
Okay. So in the meantime, this has been Disney Odd Pod.
I'm Kat.
I'm Dee.
Bye. I don't know why I'm so warm. Like, is it warm in the house? I was sweating in the TV room. I had to change my shirt.
I don't think so. I mean, I was wearing my tank top.
So would I read the description off of Netflix? Because that's where we watched it.
Where else would you read it?
Amazon.
Yeah. No. Read it off wherever we watched it. That way it stays consistent. Off the big filthy N. Netflix. Why didn't you hang up that other set of ears?
Because I only use the tacks that were down here, and It's too thick, so I need something bigger. Like, those are fine, because those are thin, but that one is thicker. So...
Thicker.
It needs a nail or hook or something. Command strip or something like that.
It's the opposite of the movie thinner. Shit, will you... Out of control.